Live. Welcome to. I just named it the Ultimate Brickshow Talk because this is not the normal night of stream. This is not the normal show we do. But with me is Julian, for comic relief, and
Hello,
we got
hello.
who is Tim Woods, in charge of the Ultimate Brick Show, and amongst many, many other things. So what we're gonna do is give him the screen for a bit and let him tell you about the show, what's coming up, what kind of cool things we're gonna do. So Tim, take it away.
We've got all kinds of things coming up. So if you're in the Marion, Illinois area, setup starts on August 8th and 9th. The actual public days is August 10th and 11th. We've got a wide variety of things set up. So, number one, we are catering to STEM and education. We've got a couple homeschool preview groups that are coming in, roughly 150 to 200 attendees on that. So that is on Friday, August 9th. That's 1 and 1:30, or 1 and 2:30, I'm sorry. Then we're going to kick off our first workshop. So that's one thing that the show has expanded to. We want to get recognized as an AFOL networking event, and our first workshop is a GBC workshop. You do have product that you can go home with. That cost is $30 less the motor. All right. You can provide your own motor, or we will supply one to you for an extra $5. But all these slots are limited. So what we're trying to do is pack as much stuff as we can into the venue and the ballrooms. And Jason, you've been there.
Oh yeah.
So we are actually filling up the 3 ballrooms that we all walk through at the beginning of it. So that and the hallways that we're setting up in as well, we're looking at about 50,000 square feet. And so that is limited to 12 slots. On Friday evening, if you are displaying or vending and you send in a registration form, there is an AFOL dinner that we're having. And while we're doing that, we're also doing a charity auction that's going to benefit Lighthouse Homeless Shelter in Marion. We've got some great sets that's going to be auctioned off for that worthy cause. That's at 5 p.m. on the 9th. You had to pre-register for that meal, but then we go into Saturday. We've got some workshops on Saturday by Bethany Wright. We've got Mock Building 101 by one of the Lego Masters. Excuse me, one of the Lego Masters. We've got small group activities. There's a roundtable discussion. Sunday is packed with multiple workshops throughout the day, even a behind the scenes look at Lego Masters with Emily and Kelly. We've got our closing ceremony with Corey Samuels throughout the public days on the 10th and 11th. We've got the mosaic artboard that will be going on. And then we also have the building challenge that Tim Crow puts on. Those run, each building challenge is about an hour and a half long. But there's prizes for the building challenge, first through third. Something else that we're doing. So all the Lego Masters and some of the staff members, we're going to be walking around with a pocket full of minifigs. And this is open to the public, 12 years of age and under, and you want to trade minifigs, you just find one of us and we'll trade figs with you. And so that's opened up to the kids, which I think will be a great time. The public hours on the Saturday, August 10th, is 10 to 6, and then Sunday, 10 to 4. And we've got a host of great builders that are coming in, and then we've got a small army of Lego Masters. So we've got 14 different masters coming in.
Nice.
Corey Samuels will be there. Randall, Tim and Zach Crow, and I know I'm going to miss some. Emily and Kelly, Mitch and Randall, Paul, Greg Tull. We've got Lewis coming in. We've got Jack from season 2. He'll be in. And we've got Robert, the winner from season 4. Half the team will be there. But better than that, not that I'm downgrading any of them. We're bringing in Michelle and Crystal that just won Australia versus the world. So they will
Nice.
be on hand. Uh, they'll be displaying the vendors. I think we've got 10 different vendors from Brick Crafts, Alpine Brick Exchange, trying to the block party will be there, Miller's, Wags,
Minifig
Engraving.
shop.
Yeah, Minifig Shop will be there as well. We got Lego Lass. We got food trucks on hand. The same food trucks we had last year. We've got Dave's Barbecue. We've got Say Cheese and Downtown Dip if you like ice cream. This year we added a couple candy vendors on the inside because that was the issue that I was presented with most of the time is that they wanted some snack food. So we've got some freeze dried candy and we got some rock candy that'll be there. So it ought to be a good time.
I hit up that Say Cheese truck last year. That was really good.
It really was. That's the one I kept on hitting up for lunch and supper. So
See if we can. Whoop, there we go. So yeah, we got the information scrolling at the bottom here. That is the Ultimate Brick Show, Marion, Illinois, August 10th, August 11th. You still get tickets now. Are tickets an all-day thing, or do you have time
yes,
frames?
so that is one thing. The tickets in advance are $10 and it is an all-day ticket. We don't do sessions. It's $10 in advance, 12 at the door. The main marketing idea behind that is that you can spend $12 and go watch a movie for 2 hours, or you can spend $12 and hang out with us for the entire afternoon and play with Lego and see some awesome stuff. So that's the idea behind that. But yeah, tickets are available. Get them now. So last year
Do you
we
have like
had
a combo pack with both days or anything?
we do not have a combo pack. We do have some group discounts and so if you got, I think it's 10 or 12 more. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact cutoff on that or where that starts. You can pick up tickets for 850.
Okay.
So like youth group outings or clubs or family reunion, whatever, you guys can come in, with a group rate if you buy them online and get them at that discounted price.
There you go, Julian. Go ahead and
All
load up
right.
the van. Bring everybody on.
Hey man, I'm starting my walk now.
There
Get
you
just
go.
Keith, get everybody else all loaded into a vehicle. Let's get.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Come on over.
last year we done a 1 day event and we brought in, to be exact, 4,012 people.
Hey, there you go.
On
That's-
a 1 day
that's
event.
That's an awfully specific number. Good job.
4,012. That is ingrained in my mind.
Tim, did you sit there at the door doing this? Click, click.
We done the old carnival tickets. So when they came through, we had some ladies up front that was tearing off the tickets and throwing them in a bin. And
Nice.
yeah, we had to go through and count all those tickets.
Oh no. Just there's numbers on those.
Right. Yeah, but
Just
we
start
had
at
like
number one and just see where you end.
we had like 3 rolls going, because of the way the lines were coming in. So it didn't.
So I'm the big idea, Tim. So here I'm the big idea guy. So here's the big idea for you, Tim. Just for a little more pizzazz, get you a $200 or $300 Lego set, and people that buy tickets pick one out, and they're the winner.
There you go.
I'm just throwing that out there. You do you, brother.
There you go. There you go. So one thing
must be present to win.
There you go. One of the things that we're doing, it's not a giveaway, but most of the shows that I go to and display at, the Lego Masters are usually excluded from winning anything. They don't get anything. They show up and spend their time, but the public, as they come through, they're going to be given one ticket, and there's going to be canisters, jars, whatever, set up by all the Lego Masters, and it's going to be voted on by the public best Lego Master display, and that includes their interaction and accessibility and all that. So the public's going to vote on that. So one of the 14 will go home with a trophy.
Nice.
Little
You got
something,
14 Lego Masters coming. I like that. Good for you.
Yeah, because they're going to be real competing against each other, like who can do the best thing and who can.
Right. So, yeah, as the show progresses, you'll see more and more stuff added as we do the next show. You're
Yeah.
going to see more activities added, uh, different features and signage, and just showing that we're showing growth and that we're expanding.
Well, let me ask you a question. Oh, Jason, you want to do it or can
Yeah, I
I?
was going to say, where was the other show you did? Was that Quincy?
We done Quincy, Marion, Quincy, back to Marion, and we've got three other locations right now that we are in the works on.
You done beat me to the punch. Any plans on running out of the state, getting out of the state, or coming? Just getting the road.
So yes, two of those locations are out of Illinois.
Yes.
I'm hoping one of them is in my state.
Is it Missouri? Hey, I got a sister who lives in Missouri. Between her and Jason live 3 hours apart. If you get that show right in between the two of them, I'll be there.
You'll be there, huh?
I'll be
That's
there.
awesome. That is awesome.
I'll find a way then.
It should be a very good show this year. A lot of feedback, a lot of chatter on it. We've been doing little pre-sale events, and the public's super excited that we're coming back.
Have you
Go
ahead, Jason. I'll let you talk.
Okay. I was just going to ask, I'm sure you don't have everyone off the top of your head, but do you know who displayers, anybody besides me that's coming back from last year? And then,
I do have that list.
Players we got.
So coming back from last year, we've got Katie Blank coming back. We've got Nathan Beasley, Ethan McCain. Charles Marshall is coming back. Mark Hartford, Brandon Adair. Mark Bumpus is coming out of Wisconsin. So you remember Mark at all?
I think so, vaguely.
Right.
I know the
name. Sounds cool.
Mark is the one that was wearing the yellow construction hat.
Okay.
Had all the buildings that would, he would just
they would
move it
and
they would expand, and open up. Yeah. So he's coming back.
Awesome.
His display's bigger. Corey Schaaf would be back. Brad Alsop. We've got a lot of returning people.
Brickshow with the big castle.
He is not there this year, but we've got a gentleman by the name of Kirk Tickner. He's coming up out of Atlanta, and he's got a micro build of Chicago. So this thing is it's like 16 feet deep, and it's like 4 8-foot tables wide. Wow. So it's built to scale. It's absolutely massive. It's set up right when you walk in. You're going to hit that first, and right beside it's Bricker Builds. So Bricker Builds will be on hand. We got some new people. Lucas Osgood, Terry J, Johnny Hunter, also out of Wisconsin. Caitlin Dills, she's out of Chattanooga area. We got.
Well, you getting them from the hell. I'll just tell you what. Next time, a fella that's bringing the Chicago display. Next time, I'll just go to Atlanta and you can carry me on up.
Right there, you go.
I'll meet him.
But yeah, we've got 10, 15 plus that are new. Big Nate Tanner will be back. He's displaying.
I know Big Nate, yeah.
Bethany Wright with all the mechanical and moving aspects. She'll be back. Of course, Jason's going to be back.
Who never heard of him?
I think I was right next to Bethany's stuff last year, if I'm not.
And you're across from her this year, so you're in the same block. She's on one side, and you're just on the opposite side. So
nice.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are real close. You're in the middle, almost the middle of the venue this year. So you'll get a lot of traffic there. I mean, the whole thing had traffic last year.
Oh yeah, no, it was.
You'll have traffic for people wanting to see better builds. No,
right.
When the one trip I made to the food truck, that was probably like an hour trip, and it was literally just like right outside the door, and it was.
Yeah, it was
so many people in there getting through, and the line outside for food too was immense.
one thing we are doing this year, I forgot to mention, we done the Once Upon a Brick Challenge last year at Marion. Do you recall that with the Lego clubs and the library clubs for the kids?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That
So what
Corey's
that was
involved in that,
based
right?
on last year was they had to pick a book, and within that book, they had to pick something to
I
build.
remember that.
Yep. And we're doing the same thing again this year, except I picked the book/movie, Wizard of Oz, and
Hey,
they're
Rare.
they're all building everything, based off the movie Wizard of Oz, and their requirements is number one, it has to be all Lego elements. We had one last year had some that were kind of intermixed, but all Lego elements, and it's got to be a minimum of a 32 by 32 base plate. Other than that, based on the Wizard of Oz, sky's the limit. And we've got 5 that's entered in that. 5 different Lego
That'll be-
clubs from libraries and schools, and so it should be a pretty good competition.
And I've seen a tease too of some of the things Nate's bringing. He
Oh, have
posted
you?
on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you coming to Marion? Because that's where it's debut." And I'm like, "I'll be there."
Yeah, there's you're going to see a lot of stuff that's debuting. Of course, I showed the Boba Fett's throne room up in Chicago. That is myself and Charles Marshall, and it has been added to, and we added a huge archway in behind. So we're actually rebuilding the whole throne room set
I like it.
That's gonna
to
be cool.
the megafig scale of 18 inches.
I like that too.
That's
And
awesome.
so everything's been upscaled. We've got the wall, the arch in the back now. That's roughly 3 feet tall. And so that
Very
has now been put on. And over the years, you're going to see this thing evolve more and more. And to where it's going to end up cascading off the table. We'll have the rain core underneath, and then, in the rain core pit.
No, that's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's really coming along. It'll end up being a standalone piece, just like the Mustafar build that was there last year. It'll be a standalone piece like that.
that was Patrick's.
Yes, that was Patrick's.
Never heard of him. The old grouchy man. Oh, he wouldn't mind me saying that. I think he's my dad.
Patrick.
We even forgot to mention them. We've got Topher's coming up. Topher's Brick Emporium.
Okay.
So first time working with them. So we've got some new vendors that'll be there as well. New vendors, new displayers, new Lego masters.
Yeah,
It'll be a good time.
Yeah,
Gonna be great.
double the days and sounds like quadruple the things to do.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. There's a lot to do, and Marion is growing, so there's more restaurants around the venue now, and I mean it's continued to grow, and there is some construction coming in. The original drive is busted out, so there is a little bypass going into the venue, but it's going to be worth it, guys. That's all I can say. Is once you get there, and then once you come back next year, you're going to see something totally different. And let's just say the payoff is going to be worth
You're
it.
switching to Mega Block? Sorry.
No.
Don't mind me. I'll be over here if you need me.
No, it's Best Buy. I know. So it's from my friend's house. It was like a 45-minute drive straight to the venue for me. But then I basically just had to get off the highway, and then I turned, and I was like right there.
Yeah.
So
It's right off the interstate. As soon as you pull off the interstate, if you just
it's very easy to get to.
Yeah, you find Walmart, it's right in behind Walmart. I mean, it's just right there, and you can't miss it. Real easy to find. Hotels are right there, all kinds of restaurants, and like I said, we're adding more restaurants in the area. Like I said, there is some construction back there, and there's some ball fields, new ballparks going in around the pavilion. But the big payoff you guys will see in 25. So
I know you have plans to expand and plans to get bigger. So I have been to a few conventions, over the years, and
No, he doesn't know anything about them. Don't
No, I
even
don't.
listen to it.
No,
Don't
he-
listen to a word he
he does
says,
way
Tim.
more.
He is so full of crap.
So what I noticed was actually the first one I went to was Philly Brickfest in 2019.
Okay.
And I mean that was Chicago 2016 was the first. I just went during the public time
Right.
and then left. Hey, what's up, Yorkie? Thanks for the follow.
Hey, Yorkie, you
but,
got stuff all over the
Philly
screen. Hang
Brickfest
on. I
2019,
can't hear you through all the mess.
I bought the ticket, the 4-day full event. I didn't display anything. Well,
Right.
I snuck some stuff into Julian City, and that was, but I didn't have a table of my own. But I was there for the whole event, and then I was at Chicago in 2021 for the whole
Okay.
4-day event. Again, I did not display. But the thing I noticed, so Chicago had a whole lot of like 2 days before the public, and let's
Right.
check out all these different lessons and things like that, and different panels, learn things and stuff like that.
Right.
Philly did more stuff after the place. Well, there was 2 days beforehand, but then even after the public hours were over, there was more stuff like
Right.
the Brick District, where everyone played drinking games while you were building and stuff like that.
That's a lie. I never did that.
I might have video and pictures, but anyway,
You can't prove anything.
is there any plans to expand to like either of those types of things for just like the AFOLs and displayers, or would you like
Yes.
to
So
kind of geared for the public?
you're going to see a touch of that this year with the workshops. Some of those workshops are just for the AFOLs.
Okay.
So you'll see that on the Thursday, Friday. So anything on Thursday, Friday that we're having will be geared 99% towards the AFOLs. Some of the stuff on Saturday and Sunday, we are going to open that up to the public a little bit, but I guarantee once I put these descriptions out and the sign up goes out, these will probably be full before the public even gets a chance, and it's going to go, the AFOLs are going to, just absorb this really quick, and because we're limited, on how many spots we can have, but
Yeah.
we are looking at activities before and after, just like the Friday evening, but we are expanding those
Ow.
areas.
Okay. Don't hurt yourself, man.
I'm fine. Leave me alone. Make your business.
So Julian, you had a question like 30
Yeah,
minutes
no.
ago.
You know what though? You know what? At this point, no, I'm kidding. Is the is the square footage gone up yet, or is it? I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
You going to get a bigger? You got more display area now?
So last year we just done the main expo hall at the venue, which is roughly 35,000 square feet. So we've added on 3 ballrooms. One of those is going to have displays in it. Bricker builds will be alongside that. One of the ballrooms is going to be utilized just for workshops, and half of the other ballroom is going to be utilized for panels. So there'll be activities going on. That's the reason we need the space. And then the hallways, there's stuff set up out in the hallways this year. So we've got some mosaics that'll be set up. Tubbs merchandise, information tables for Heartland Lug, which is a local lug down here that my daughter actually started up, and she's trying to get that recognized. So Heartland Lug. So informational tables, feedback tables. We want the feedback. We want to know what
fat guy size.
Yeah, we want to. Well, we're going to have some fat guy shirts. So I need the fat guy shirts.
I bet mine's bigger.
I don't know what size.
5X.
Well, yeah, yours is bigger.
Yeah, I'm in a 5, but I'm slimming down to a 4. So
there you go. I'm in a 3. So.
Oh, look at the little fella.
Little guy.
No, I know. I've stood next to him in person. He's not a little guy.
But we welcome the feedback. So how this show started was I had back injury, multiple back surgeries, and during that time we started just traveling, and we got back into Lego and started traveling. I was going to mom and pop shops, filming, and putting it out on YouTube. And then we started to go into the shows and we started walking through, and it was just, kind of a, hey, wouldn't it be fun to start one of these? And then we started taking notice. All right, what we liked, what we didn't like, and that's even down to publication, marketing, crowd control, you name it. We started making notes. Then we started displaying. And once we started displaying, we started doing the same thing again. Feedback from management on where everything's at. And I'm hoping our feedback is good. Uh, and staying in contact with everybody, and just your load in, your load out, and all those instructions, the hotel and ins and outs of everything. We started making notes of that, and then we put together what we done last year at Marion. We compiled what we liked, we took out what we didn't like, and done a scaled down test market of 1 day, and it seemed to be a huge success. And we done basically the scaled down version up in Quincy. You'll see growth in Marion this year, where it's expanded, and we will continue to pretty well work that model to where we go into a new city, a new market, to where it's kind of scaled down a little bit. But once we start getting the feedback, if we are just selling tickets left and right,
Mhm.
well, that scaled down show is going to turn into a bigger show before it even opens up. We'll start adding stuff to it, and we'll, going off of the market. And I think that's the fairest way to do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know it was. It's good to finally have stuff happening around me.
Yes.
Because no, I mean, no offense to Brick Universe and Brick Convention, they're just like different breeds of show, basically.
Right.
Mm.
They are more,
There you go.
for the
Yeah.
younger kid, I would say.
That's the question I got for you, Jason.
Okay, what's
You be
that?
quiet. Compared to all the other shows that I've gone through and how I've told you about them and what I think of them, the stuff you've been through, how does his correlate closest to what?
So I would say closest to kind of in between Philly and Chicago for me.
Okay.
Now, I'm not talking size wise. Chicago is just positively
Right.
massive, but they
Yeah,
take
that's
Right.
what she said.
up to that.
Uh,
And at the time, so did Philly. So, but
Yeah.
just in terms of everybody being there and being on the same page too. Everybody was very welcoming, very friendly. It wasn't a whole lot of drama happened, which I have seen happen in other places.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So everybody was all cool, and it was also just hey, I need help with this. Can you help me? Everybody was helping each other, and things like that. So now I would kind of put it in between. Now I haven't been to Virginia and some of the other ones that you've been to. So
Well, I ain't been to Virginia yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No, it just seems like I have.
We've got a one thing that's a little different. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. I mean, I can't keep it hidden. I mean, people's gonna be talking about it. We've got a hospitality team. So we've got a group that will walk around with bottled water in a roll around cooler, and go to the vendors and the displayers and see if they need something to drink. They'll do food runs. If there's some people that don't want to leave their display during the show because they want to make sure those little hands aren't reaching across and grabbing things, which is understandable. I'm that way too.
I like when they tear my whole wall down.
Yeah, but we've got people that will stand in place so these guys can go use the restroom, go get a bite to eat. So yeah, we've got a hospitality team that caters to the vendors and the displayers.
I will say that I have been to some shows where they have not a whole team, but there has been some folks that have taken care of us.
Right.
But just the big wigs.
Just the big
Yeah, no, everybody doesn't get that service.
Wait, okay. Well, I mean, apparently they do here. Good job, Tim.
Yeah, that's one thing we want to be, set apart from everybody else. We want to focus in on education. We want to, focus in on the fun and everything, but we want to make sure that you want to come back, that you feel welcomed, and we want to make sure you come back, and we want to make sure that you're telling your friends about it, thinking, hey, you need to come here and check this out, or display, or vend. You need to get in on the wait list.
Well, Jason didn't shut up about it.
Well, and because that's the other thing I'll say too is because I displayed at Brick Universe in St. Louis in January, or January or February.
It doesn't matter.
And it was technically in Illinois as well, but it was close enough they considered it St. Louis. And as a displayer, I had an okay time, right? Like it actually worked out in my favor. There was terrible weather that weekend, so several people canceled. So there was literally just 2 displayers. It was me and another guy and his children. And so we got to take over some other people's tables too. They're like, "You guys live close. Can you bring more stuff?" So the next day I brought more stuff, to display. But the thing seemed a little unorganized. And like people kept stopping by and asking us, they're like, "We got the VIP ticket. Where do we go?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm literally just a displayer. I don't know. I don't work here. I'm not, but
Right.
so I went to try to find the information so I could give them to everybody. And it didn't seem like they had things laid out in a good way, or at least things marked to let people know what was where. So your show is much more organized in terms of that as well.
I can't do a messy show. I hate a messy show.
Yeah, you'll see a lot more floor stickers down this year. I've got a love-hate relationship with those things. I really do. I really do. But we advertise, so our sponsors, we advertise that way for them. We put the floor sticker down. And every time, if I'm in Walmart or Sam's Club or whatever, and you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden you just kind of catch it out of the corner of your eye, it looks like you're getting ready to step on something. It's one of those stupid floor stickers. They do what they're supposed to do. I mean, they're intended to get your attention and make you look down, and then you're like, oh, it's an ad. So
I didn't see my feet in years, so I don't know nothing about them stickers.
I got to take that back. It was not Brick Universe in St. Louis. It was Brick Fair, Brick Fest.
Brickfest Live.
Brickfest Live. Yeah, that's what I was trying to play at.
Oh yeah, that one. I heard that one changed hands and was bad before and is worse now.
Yeah, that was in Collinsville. Yeah, that was in Collinsville.
Do you guys have plans for Ultimate Brickshow bricks that people can purchase?
We do. So, of course, we make sure that all the vendors and displayers got theirs first, But anyway, there are some that are left over and that will be available. There's T-shirts available this year. Like I said, I think we went up to a 3X, maybe a 2X. I don't know. I think it was 3X this year is what we went up to. But there are some T-shirts that'll be available this year. And last year we done, and this will be another test market feature. Last year we done the order forms on the shirts, and just to see what the market and what the feedback was. And there was a need there, so we've added shirts on this year. But since they're dated shirts, I want to make sure that we do a small batch. So if you are there and you want a shirt, you better get it early. I think we're doing maybe 125, 150 shirts.
Okay.
So it is a limited number. And if they sell out the first day, then we know the next city that we roll into, we might ought to increase that up a little bit. But
that's probably
and it's just like displaying with us. As of right now, there's no fee to display. It's free to display. You just fill out the form and come on in. We want to try to keep the cost as low as possible. Now, does that mean it'll be always be free? Just depends on inflation and everything. It's probably, but we want to keep the fees low. The more that we add as far as activities and stuff like that, those cost, and we'll have to start, charging a small fee.
Well,
but we want to keep it as low as possible.
Yeah,
I can tell you from this side of the rope, we expect to have to pay something. Because you can't get something for nothing,
Right. And we do understand that. It's just like our vendor fees starting out. Our vendor fees are the cheapest in the market, but they've all received a letter stating after the Marion show starting, the next event, whether it's later this year or in 2025, the next event, you will see an increase. So 3 shows at that lower cost. Now you'll see an increase to where we are competitive and not, well, basically we were undercutting everybody else. Just
Right. That's how you get the vendors there.
Yep,
that's
you gotta
right.
do that sometimes.
My aspect is I want them to make money. I want them to get a piece of the pie. And if they are wrapped up in a huge amount of vendor fees, and we're going to small town USA and some of these cities, or some of these venues is in small town USA, they need to have the capability of making some money, because if they're not making money, then they're not going to travel.
Facts.
Yeah, that's
So
because those trucks and trailers take a lot of gas.
that's right. That is right.
No
So
doubt.
that's another aspect of our show that makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, pricing was good. Actually, I was quite shocked, when I found out about the show last year. Like, oh, it's free display. I'm like, it's free?
Free.
Okay.
Free? Trust me, I paid a lot to display. When you go to Chicago, by the time you get your room and all your entry fees and everything, you've got, you could have went and spent, a nice holiday, vacation on the beach somewhere and just condo on the beach or whatever, and really just kick back and relax. But what a lot of people don't realize, even from the display aspect, these shows are work.
Oh, yeah.
They are work, you getting in and getting everything hauled in and getting it set up and making sure everything's right. And then if you're on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, then you're doing the networking aspect, because you want to build that audience. So you're still continue to, do work. And then it comes time for tear down. You got to get all that ripped down and packed away and make sure it doesn't rattle apart. Now, tear down's a little bit easier than the setup, but setup, we baby it all the way to whatever venue that we're going to, and then the tear down, it's like, yeah, just get it in the vehicle, we'll start driving. We don't care. But I'm always, I'm a sweaty mess by the time I get everything, set up. And by the time, it's time to tear down and I'm in the car, it's just like, turn on the AC. My wife's like, but it's 20 degrees outside. It's like, then we're rolling down the windows, if we're doing a show in the winter.
Your choice.
We're just a sweaty mess, from running and gunning. But yeah, they are work. They absolutely are work.
Amen. So I'm gonna pull back a curtain. There's been a show that I've been going to for, I show up a day early because my buddy works it. So then I volunteer to work it for the setup and the teardown. I don't work as hard as them because they're not paying me, but but I get what's that? Oh, that's the roped in. Yeah, get me. But I love that part of the show too.
It's fun. And one thing, and you guys are probably on the same page, whether we are hosting an event or whether I'm displaying at an event. If I'm displaying, I want to be the first one there that I can, as early as possible, set up, and then just start walking the venue and watching it come together.
That's what I did last year.
I love that. I love watching it all come together. Now, when it comes time for teardown, I want to be ripped down and one of the first ones out, because that part's depressing, watching it come apart,
I tell you what, though, I like to be the last one out, because damn it, I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I understand that. We were the last ones out. I shouldn't say, we were packed up, and then we went out to eat. This is up in Chicago with a family, and they had their stuff packed up primarily, and we came back and helped them finish tearing down and loading out their vehicle. They were the last ones out, so we were there in that hall up in Schaumburg, 90,000 square feet, once it's completely empty.
You realize how far of a walk it is from one end to the other.
Yeah, and it's a ghost town in there, and there's just very few people in there, and just, the tables were primarily, at that point, I think 90% of the tables were already out. All the stanchions were loaded up. and it was just insane. I mean, the size of that venue.
That's when the people that work at the hall start looking at their watch going, get out. I want to go home.
Yeah, that's what they're probably doing, you know.
Most of
But
them
they
do.
still
They
had some
were
other tables
packed
to go.
When I was in Chicago, I was shocked at how quick most everybody got everything out of there.
Yeah.
Like, it was nuts. I'm like, wow, just like half hour ago, this was full of people in Lego. Now it's half empty.
It's gone, you know. And those guys are running and gunning to tear it down that fast.
And I just like seeing like, oh, that just looks like a pile of bricks right now. Walk back by 30 minutes later, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to see what's coming to fruition as they're adding to it, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tim, when are you going to get new Hashima up there?
When?
Yeah. Oh, all right. I'll be quiet now.
That
not the Chicago version, but the Stefan version.
yeah, I would say that Chicago version. Did you see that in person?
No,
You
I
up
did
there?
not. No, I've seen
Oh,
Stefan's
my.
smaller iterations of it down here in the dirty.
Yeah, they had a smaller version of it at Nashville a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we watched them set that thing up last
Yeah,
year.
I saw that because that's when Tim was actually streaming his part of the 72-hour stream.
Yeah,
and then he went and talked to Stefan about his stuff.
Watching that thing come together. My question is this: for the ones that know what we're talking about and the size of that monstrosity, they were out just like everybody else was. How in the world they get that thing tore down that fast? Because the amount of lights and everything in that,
I can tell you how. They got it set up in a grid pattern. Stefan's got his chunk, and then
Right.
somebody up there had their chunk. So two guys dealt with all the electric and music, and then everybody else's was in a grid box.
Okay.
And so everybody would bring their own section. So they just popped those sections out and took them, and then Stefan and the other fella brought theirs down, and they can do that about 4 hours.
They started building that. I want to say it was Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday when they started working on it.
Yep.
And we got in Wednesday, and it was a mess over there. There was totes and brick just scattered everywhere. It's like, what are they doing here? They had even pulled over tables that were supposed to be utilized for the other displayers and had stuff scattered everywhere. I'm thinking, oh my lands. They worked on it all the way up till time of the show, and they finally finished it.
Them boys.
Yeah,
That's what I couldn't figure out. It's like, how are they going to tear this thing down? Push it over? Give it a little shove.
Yeah,
That'd
I
make a cool video.
that. I've witnessed a few people do that. I'm just like,
no, don't do it.
And the thing is,
It's a beautiful build. Even the tiniest version of it still is massive.
I love looking at it.
Is building built a ginormous bat cave that he's taken to, I want to say, Virginia, and he's like, this is the last time. He's like, after that, we're done with this bat cave, and he's literally just going to shove it off the table. His next project is the Daily Planet, so he's scrapping the massive bat cave in favor of Daily Planet.
See, the thing is, I mean, you risk, tearing up product by doing that. You risk tearing up.
Say it again.
That's a lot of product to jeopardize, busting brick. I mean, I don't like it when especially, everybody knows the whole thing with brittle brown. I hate reaching into a tote of brown and needing colors, and that one's chipped and that one's chipped. It's like, I just bought these, and I couldn't imagine shoving something over and letting it hit the concrete floor on purpose.
Well, actually, I don't know if he's going to shove the whole thing off because it's pretty massive, but he's like, we're just tossing it in the tubs. We don't care. We're taking it home.
I've broke that down.
It's done after that show.
Big build into, thousands of pieces, but I didn't break it.
Right.
Julian, someone broke their mock-up, pushed off the table to give Julian a ride home.
Sure did.
That he would.
I have that on YouTube. I'm going to pull that up, Jason, so we can watch it.
Okay.
All right. Just get it. Don't worry. Don't mind me. It's okay.
Julian's car broke down.
Yep.
And he had to get a ride to the show.
Yep.
And then needed a ride to leave from the show, and so
Right.
someone just destroyed their mock just to have room to give him a ride.
Sure did.
Well, that was pretty kind.
It really was.
Yep.
Did they make you feel bad?
Not even a little bit.
Okay, good.
Not even a little
Yeah,
bit.
nope, not at all.
Nope. Oh, here it goes.
Good.
Made a viral video too. That
All right,
Good
Jay. I'm
deal.
going to share real quick. Hang on. Where's my share button? Let's
I've
see.
tried to find it before, but you know when it happens.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I put it on my channel. Let me know when you're ready.
all right, and we're sharing.
Okay, now.
Go now.
Oh no.
Look at that thing, man. Now watch the curtain between those two guys. I didn't know this was happening. Watch the curtain. Wait for it. There I come. What the hell?
See, that's the thing. Everybody knows that sound. If you're in the hobby, you know what that sound is. And we were displaying in Nashville, and they were having that basically strongest bridge contest, with the kids in it. And I heard this crash, and I'm on the other side of the venue. I'm thinking, you know what? This is the first time on the throne room that I put my wall up and the archway. So, I mean, it comes up and it hits that keystone piece, and that's what's holding it all together. And it's like, it just hit the floor.
Right?
That was the first thing through my, it's like, it just hit the floor.
No, that was Master
ran over
Builder
to my
Dan.
display. I cringed every time they'd done that. Every time they busted one of those bridges, it's like, stop.
I do every time too, man. I can't get used to. I don't know how Dan does it.
That
Master
drives me
Builder
insane.
Dan.
Yeah.
Love Master Builder Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah, so many pieces get sacrificed, I bet.
Every time I watch, like, calm down, that's not your display. It's like, I know now, but
Is it?
it's just that sound,
I think I need to check again.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
So let's just make sure it's not mine.
Yeah, we had some kids that they were really curious about the build, and reaching across, and it's like, don't do that. Please don't.
I do remember last year you had the table with all the blue bricks
Oh,
built, and they built that ginormous tower or whatever tried to use every piece, and then again threw that all over the floor.
Yeah, there was some gentleman from Missouri, that's all I know, that was encouraging the kids, and I think he's the one that pushed it and was videoing it. That was not planned. And that was not allowed.
I saw crashes and stuff. I'm like, ran over there. I'm like, what? So I had to pull out my phone too. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was not anticipated.
There was like 6 or 7 kids running around just throwing the pieces everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, no, we're not doing this. That was the only issue that we had. That will not happen this year. Of all times for the
rules down.
Yeah, for people to step away, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. But things happen. So, but yeah, that was not anticipated. That's not allowed.
I know the guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy who set up right next to me,
Steve,
was, I think, is related to you.
Yes, that'd been David.
He made the guns that would actually shoot.
Yes.
And that was really cool.
Yeah. So he's not there this year. I tried to get him in. His job just won't allow it for him to come in. But that was his first time showing. He didn't think that his was anything special. It's like, dude, you've made working guns.
Yeah.
And I thought it was awesome,
Yeah. I was like, this is. I was like, how do you even figure this out? And they looked almost, if they weren't multiple colors, they looked realistically shaped and had different firing mechanisms for every type of gun and stuff.
Yeah, he done he had an AR, and I mean the magazine fed and everything, and I mean he done a phenomenal job with him. He said it's just something I play around with. Had a couple pistols that he made, and I mean it was cool. But
yeah, every time he would have to use the restroom or something, people were like, "Hey, how does this work?" I was like, "Well, I don't know how, but I know that it does. You just give him a few minutes; he'll be right back. I'm not going to break it." I was
Yeah,
like, you'll be impressed.
he was a little bit out of his element. That was the first time he's like, I didn't think it was anything special. He said, but the amount of people over there, I think it overwhelmed him.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
all the people and everything, especially being first time. You know, he wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready. You know.
Yeah, one of them broke. The trigger mechanism broke, and the piece he needed is not that hard or not that easy to come by.
Right.
Oh no.
That's the way it usually goes. You know, you break a piece and it's like, oh, really?
Yeah, it's like one of those little weird Technic piece or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Good
Somebody
deal.
had one across the aisle on like one of their rare Star Wars Technic builds. I was like, there it is, right there. That's what you need.
Yeah. Borrow that. One thing that we don't have. So last year, if everybody's not aware, we were planning on having the big video wall that was in Chicago up. A buddy of mine is the one that actually owned that and traveled and done that wall. He passed away. So the ones that don't know, that's the reason the video was already made for the video ad wall and all that. So we went ahead and just done a small projector and threw it on the wall. That way people could see it. His build was right across the aisle of the video display, the monitors, and all that. So he had that small build over there. But we are not doing a video wall at all until his wife gives me the go ahead. So we're not going to utilize another company. You won't see the wall until she is ready to say, all right, Tim, let's do this again.
Okay.
And that's just the way it's going to be. You know, if we have it, and we were getting ready to sign all the contracts to where he was going to travel with the show and make sure that we were, you know, he was you know, setting up his display for us. And you know, things happen. You know, that was his time was no more, and we're just waiting on his wife. And once she gives me the go ahead, we'll bring that wall back, and we'll get it up this time. So, but until that happens, that spot's reserved. Don't reach out; it ain't happening. I'm waiting.
So, if I remember right, didn't was it the mayor's son had like a Wild West build last year?
Yeah, the mayor's son had a Wild West build. He's not coming back because of schooling and everything. He's in his senior year. I forgot what university he's at. I think he's down at SEMO maybe. But he cannot make it back up, and he had a blast. The mayor is coming in. There is going to be a Mayor's Choice Award. So he's going to be coming in and
Another
taking
ceremony
a look.
like the keys to the city like last year.
Well, we're not doing that. So we do that one time per new venue, but he'll come in Sunday evening and he's going to check out everything and he's going to give his 2 cents worth on the ones that have placed. All right. So if you want a certain category, he's going to come through and do the Mayor's Choice Award out of those. So somebody go home with, you know, 2 pieces of hardware instead of just, you know, for the one category. They could go home with 2 for the same display. Which is something a little different, you know, but yeah, we like to have the little fun aspects, you know, and make this thing fun.
Didn't they name the town of Marion to Bricksburg last year?
Bricksburg, yeah. We've got all the paperwork where they switched the name over to Bricksburg, and we done Bricksville and Quincy. Who knows what the next one will be? You know, it'll have the word brick in it, I guarantee.
Brick house.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a little fun marketing, you know, tools and aspects. Just we want the community involved. We want local governments involved, and that way they welcome us back. And we're keeping them, you know, apprised of everything that's going on, working hand in hand with them. We want to make sure that we give back to the community. That's the reason we chose the charity Lighthouse. That's a non-for-profit and great organization. Well, we want to get back to the community. And homeless shelters are great. I'm not knocking homeless shelters whatsoever. But this one here is a little bit different. So what they're doing, they'll take one person or they'll take an entire family. But what they end up doing is there's a couple criteria you got to meet: drug free, alcohol free, and then you got to have a job. If you don't have a job, they're going to find you a job. And you're welcome to stay there as long as you remain clean, sober, and you're working. And then what they do is they will rat hole some of your money back and they put that into a savings account for you. And then once you get enough funds built up to either get an apartment or get a house or whatever, they help you find that. They help you with the paperwork. They help place you into your facility. And just like any of us, and let's say we buy a new family room set, new couch and chairs and stuff like that. Uh, and the stuff that you got is perfectly fine. It's just you don't want to hassle trying to sell it on the marketplace or whatever. And you just say, hey, come get it. They'll come pick it up. And they've got a warehouse that they store it in. And when they place these people, the furniture may not match, but they'll have a refrigerator and they'll have a dining room table and they'll have a sofa and they'll have yeah, and they actually furnish the houses for them to get them up and going.
Nice.
And that's the reason we chose them. That's the reason we want to make sure.
That's a good reason for choosing it.
Yeah, and that's not just getting people off the street, which I'm all for. We want to get them off the street, but that's giving them the ability to get back into the workforce and make sure that if they need cleaned up, if they're addicted to drugs or whatever, they're going to make sure you're clean. And getting them clean, getting them back out there in the community, and let them function in society as a normal person. And that's what it's all about, rebuilding them and everything, and getting them built back up and getting them back out there.
That's important.
Yeah, we do a toy drive. We done a toy drive last year for them at Christmas time.
Jason's got toys,
and
some of them
we're all
drive.
doing the same thing. So I've got, and I'm going to say this, out in my garage, there's probably at least 10 16-gallon totes of Mega Block. All right, stuff that's been given to me, stuff that I find in bulk and I throw in another bin. So there's about 10 16-gallon totes of it. We're starting to go through that, wash that up, and we're going to end up donating it. That way the kids that come in, hey, at least they've got something to play with. They've got something, it's not Lego, but all right. They can learn with it, and they can have a good time.
I'm gonna say this. I have a 7-year-old son, and he could care less.
Yeah.
He knows I like Lego, but that's only because of this.
Right.
But we were actually at Tim's Alpine. We're at Alpine shop.
Tim Crow.
Yeah, and he swapped his son. What is
Zach?
Zach.
Zach. Yeah.
Well, Alex had a bag. My son had a bag of bulk, and he swapped it for a bag of bulk from their shop. And my son Alex kept picking up pieces that he really thought were cool, and it wasn't Lego, and he just kept putting it in his bag.
Yeah. So, funny thing, Tim and I, we're great friends. We've been friends for a long time. Both our families.
Well, that's it. I can't be friends with you then. God, you associate with that type of person.
What he does is when he gets his bulk in, it's washed. He don't sort it. So when he takes it to the show, he relies on the public to sort through it.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
That is a pain sorting all that bulk. And we worked the booth this in Chicago for him. And Zach wasn't there, so my wife and I worked the booth. And the amount of people coming through was insane. I mean, absolutely insane. But they kept on. This was so funny. I'm going to tell my wife. But these people were coming up and say, hey, that's not Lego. That's not Lego. So she had her apron on and she was putting the pieces in. And as soon as everybody just kind of walked away, she'd walk back over to the bin and dump the apron in, mix it all in. She's like, we'll worry about that at the end of the show.
That's it. Hashtag not my problem.
We're not going to worry about that right now. We'll wait till the end of the show.
Like an ice cream bucket.
Yeah.
Full of just non-Lego parts I've sorted out from bulk.
I have a trash can full that I threw away every time.
Yeah,
I just plan on
understand that.
It's gonna either be donated or given to nephews or somebody.
I know that to the garbage man every time.
Yeah, I've got several, like I said, several of those bins that we're going to end up donating and getting it down there to those kids. I think at Christmas time they had, I think it was 7 or 8 kids that were homeless, and I'm talking 15 down to like 2 months old.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I hate that, man.
Yeah, 15 years old down to 2 months. That's like unbelievable. Yeah. But yeah, we as a community, and we grabbed as much stuff as we could and got it down there, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's the right thing to do, and anybody would do that. I'm not tooting the community's horn or anything like that. Anybody would have done that if they would have known. A lot of people just don't know, and we want to make sure that they're on the radar, that they're not getting overlooked, and there's people out there that care for them.
So, real quick, Tim. Again, I'm the big idea guy, so here we go. So for the, I don't know how you work your auction for the
charity.
Yeah, I think that you need to get another $200 or $300 set, and whoever has the highest amount that paid for something gets to win a prize on top of it.
There you go.
Don't tell me I know. It's fine. You know what?
There you go.
We can just be friends. You haven't written it down yet. Are you no.
Yeah, I like that idea. So what's awesome is one of the sets that's being donated is the old Technic airplane. I forgot the set number. It's like a $300 or $400 set now, but that's been donated. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good sets that's been donated.
I like that.
I think that one's definitely gonna bring some funds in.
Yeah.
And I mean, people's been so generous, and it ought to be good. And I will tell you this, that some of the Lego Masters, they're gonna have custom builds that they're donating.
Good.
Yeah, so that'll be, somebody can go home with a piece of work from one of the Lego Masters,
autograph with an authenticity card on
there
it.
You go. There you go. So
2021 Chicago EJ, there was one rare set, and the price kept going up, and they're like, well, if it gets up this high, then EJ's going to shave his beard off. And he did. He got that high, and then they got high. And they're like, "We're gonna auction off his jar of hair next year."
Why didn't I think about that?
There you go. Where was that idea?
Right, my bad. You don't want to see what's under my beard. Mm-mm.
It is our time to end on that note.
Okay.
So thank you, Tim, for being here. Thank you, Julian, for being here, and thank everybody that watches, and everybody watches this on the replay tomorrow. Make sure
that
Brickshow, Marion, Illinois, August 10th and 11th. I'll be there. Tim will be there. Julian won't, but maybe next year.
That's right. Fingers crossed.
We'll see what happens. So y'all have a good night, and we'll see you on the next one.